Assalamu alaikum, good morning. I'm Mujtaba to teach you English. Topic is the gold bug. In the previous lesson, we learned about the gold bug. In this story, we have three characters: Legrand, Jupiter, the servant, and the writer. In previous topic of the same lesson, we found that the writer visits Legrand's house. Legrand was out, and the writer, with the help of spare key that he knew where Legrand used to keep, he entered the house with that spare key, with the help of that spare key, and takes the pleasure of warmth. Because there was fire blazing in the hearth. When Legrand returned back, he is excited as he found a strange, different, and interesting bug. He wants to show it to him, but he has given the insect to Lieutenant, who too was excited and enthusiastic to know about new inventions. Legrand then tells the writer that to the next day he will show it to him. Now Legrand wants to show his friend, the writer, the sketch, the drawing of the same insect. He tried to draw the sketch of the same bug, but writer commented humorously on his drawing and made him annoyed. Now, from here we have to continue. Well, could you show me since all I see is a circle? I said with a laugh. Legrand looked annoyed. He took the paper from me and was about to crumple it and throw it into the fire, when he suddenly stopped. As I looked at him, the expression on his face suddenly changed from irritation to wonder. For a long time he scrutinized the paper where he sat without uttering a single word. He flipped the paper this way and that, studied it upside and ran a candle over it to see clearly. I could see that he was thoroughly engrossed in what he was doing, so I shook hands with him and left for my home. It was a month before I heard from Legrand again. In fact, it was Jupiter who came to me. "What's the matter, Jupiter? How is your master?" I asked while opening the door. "I am here to talk to you about him, sir," answered Jupiter. He looked worried and scared and said, "Master William is not well." "What ails him?" I asked. "It's the bug, sir. The gold bug has made him sick," wailed Jupiter. "Has he been infected with something? Is he confined to bed?" I asked. "No, sir. Master William is always mumbling to himself. He never lets that piece of paper out of his sight. Sometimes he leaves the house and comes back very late at night. I'm sure that the bug has made him mad. It bit him that day," he said. I stared at Jupiter, unwilling to believe his story. "He asked me to give you this," said Jupiter while handing me a letter. It was from Legrand, urging me to meet him as soon as I could. I accompanied Jupiter and soon reached Legrand's house. The man who stood before me looked as mad as Jupiter had described. He looked pale and stressed out. His eyes were surrounded by dark circles and were shining like stars with feverish excitement. I asked him about the bug, and Legrand answered in all seriousness, "That bug is going to make my fortune." Okay, let me explain it to you. We have learned that what happened, and now we have started when he make fun of the drawing, when the writer make fun of drawing of Legrand. Legrand was annoyed. What he tried to show to the writer, it seemed only a skull, nothing more than a skull. Legrand was annoyed. He was angry by his comment. He took the paper from the writer's hand. he was about to crumple it. He was about to crush it. Crumple is verb. Synonym is crush. It's a verb. When Legrand was about to crumple the paper and was about to throw it into the fire, then suddenly he stopped. He found something strange that changed his expression of face. He was irritated before. Now his irritation changed into wonder. He was wondered. He was surprised. There he found something that struck his mind, and it made him surprised. He scrutinized the paper. He examined carefully. Scrutinized, its verb also. It means examine carefully. He examined it. He looked deeply into the paper and was checking something where he sat without uttering a single word. He did not spell a single word. He just go into the deep examination of that very piece of paper, of that very drawing he has made. He flipped the paper this way and that. He checked each and every corner. He checked from all sides the drawing of that was on that very paper without uttering a single word. He flipped the paper this way and that, studied it upside down, and ran a candle over it to see clearly. Well, he found it. Perhaps he found him. That's why he ran for a candle, and with the help of candle, try to see the this structure, this drawing clearly. When we add ly, thoroughly, clearly, when we add ly to a verb or an adjective or a noun, that that's called, it makes it a adverb. Adverb means that adds something to the meaning of verb, noun, adverb, or an another adjective. So he checked it. I could see that he was thoroughly engrossed. The writer feels that he is deeply absorbed what he was doing. He himself did not know what he was doing. So the writer thought that it may be wastage of time, so he wanted to leave the house. He then shook hands with Legrand and left for his own home. After a month, the writer had not heard from Legrand again. After a month, his servant, Legrand's servant Jupiter, came to the writer, and the writer asked him question, "What's the matter, Jupiter? How is your master?" While answering, Jupiter seemed bewildered. He told that his master wants to talk to you. He has come to talk about his master. There something has happened wrong to his master. He looked the sorry. Jupiter looked secured. Jupiter looked secured. The writer, he was he too was worried what has happened to his friend Master Williams. Jupiter answered that his master is not well. He looked secured. There was a change in his face. What ails him? What has made him sick? Ail. Ails means ill. What has made him sick? It's bugs, sir. Oh, he has become sick because of that very bug he has found. The gold bug has made him sick. It is the gold bug that has made him sick, wailed Jupiter. Has he been infected with something? Has it stinged him? Has it infected him? Is he confined to bed? Jupiter answered in negative. No, sir. William always mumbling to himself. He always muttered to himself. He murmured to himself. He never lets that piece of paper out of his sight. He is always looking at that very paper on which he had drawn the sketch before a month when writer was there. When he tried to show the sketch of that very bug to his friend the writer. He never lets the piece of paper out of his sight. Sometimes he leaves the house and comes back very late at night. I'm sure the bug has made my master, Jupiter's master, mad. Mad here is it is an adjective. Mad. Its antonym is wise. It bit him that day. I thought that it is the bug that bit my master and has made him mad. I stared. I don't believe on this. The writer don't believe on this. He stared at Jupiter. He gazed at him. He looked at him, unwillingly to believe his story. He felt that it is not believable that his friend Williams might have gone mad. He asked me to give you this. Williams has sent a word to the writer that to accompany him as soon as he could because he needs his help to overcome the problem that he faces. Writer then accompanied Jupiter and soon reached Legrand's house. When he looked at his friend's face, his face looked pale, stressed, his eyes surrounded by dark circles and were shining like stars with feverish excitement. Oh, he was surprised. He was bewildered that what has happened to his friend. His face has turned pale. His eyes were surrounded by dark circles, and this all make the writer think about his friend's condition, his physique, his psyche. He asked him about the bug, and Legrand answered in all seriousness that bug is going to make my fortune. It is the bug that will make his fortune. The bug will make him very rich. His future will be very bright because of that very bug. The writer is of the opinion that I now firmly believe Jupiter's story. Till he was not believing the story. He was thinking that perhaps Jupiter is lying. But when he looked at his condition, uh, heard from him, when he heard from his friend, he was he believed firmly believed Jupiter's story that his friend has made gone. All I need, what Legrand asks him that what I need from you that is to use the bug properly. If I could use the bug, the Legrand says that if he could use the bug properly, he will be the richest person. It this comment, this saying of Legrand made the writer mump. He could not spell a word. He just listened and sat silent. William Legrand continued that why I sent for you. He says to writer, why I sent for you, my dear friend. It is because Jupiter and I need your help. We are going on an expedition. Expedition means journey, voyage. We are going on an expedition to the hills, and they need a person whom they can trust. It seems the writer seems to him only the person whom they can trust. That's why they sent for him. You must come with us. The writer must come with William Legrand and his servant Jupiter. Then the writer inquired if the expedition involved the beetle. Legrand replied positively, most certainly, undoubtedly, obviously, the beetle is involved in that expedition. Inshallah, in next topic, in next lecture, I will complete this lesson. It will take us one more lecture to complete the lesson, and after we will see what happened to that very man and what is the secret, what is the mystery behind this gold bug, and was really William Legrand mad, or Was he right? And if the writer and Jupiter were wrong in their ideas, in their sensations about William Legrand. Thanks. Have a nice day.